Hi there, Brett here at Tabletop Sagas, and welcome to the first video of 2025. Kicking off the year in style, it's time to have a look at the final part of the Blitzkreig Commander British Starter Army with the support elements. So let's dive in and you can see how everything looks. And here they are in all their green and brown glory. In the box, you get enough to make a base of the MG team and a base of 3-inch mortars and two 6-pounder artillery guns. As you can see, these are painted up in very much the same style as the armour and infantry that I've shown off in the last two videos of this series. So I've linked both of those videos down below if you want to check them out in more detail. In short though, the main colours are English uniform for any of the clothes, and then Russian uniform, both from Vallejo for any of the greens, with metals, skins, and wood detailing done pretty much how you like it. But let's have a look at these in a little bit more detail, starting off with the machine guns. For these machine guns, they were probably the most awkward ones here. They actually come in two separate pieces, one for the gunner and one for the loader. And because of the imprecise nature of metal casting, getting these two to line up really wasn't going to happen. The main concern though was getting the ammo belt aligning as closely as possible with the gun. If the 2 points of the base don't align, that's okay, and as you can see here, you can hide a lot of sins with some simple basing texture and flock. For the most part, these were painted primarily using the techniques that I've outlined in my videos on the infantry previously, and I've been using some reference photos online for the British machine guns. Interestingly, they do actually give you 3 sets of the MG teams in the box, but on a 50mm by 25mm base, which is what's recommended in the Blitzkrieg Commander 4 rulebook, this is definitely not fitting 3 on there. You can see that 2 do fit really comfortably though. So I'm guessing that you get an extra one for free, although I suspect this is probably more to do with how the molds are, but it's actually a similar thing that you will encounter in this box with the mortar teams. Here you can see that I've squeezed the 3 teams onto the base, but it is looking very crowded with 6 guys and 3 mortars. You could very easily reduce this down to 2 teams on a base and have 1 extra, which if you've bought an extra pack would effectively give you 3 teams for the price of 2. These are again painted in a very similar infantry style. I'm not sure if there would be any distinguishing features for people in the support platoons, or if there is, if they'd even be easily picked out at this 10mm scale. But if there is anyone here who is more knowledgeable on the subject, please let me know if I've missed anything in the comments down below. And finally, I've got the artillery for you to check out. Specifically, in this box, they are the 6-pounder anti-tank artillery for you. And again, an interesting thing is that the product description describes 1 artillery, but on a 50mm by 50mm base, you're going to struggle to get both of these on there. In fact, when you look at the example from the Blitzkrieg Commander book, they clearly show that 1 artillery gun is on each base. So I figured, hey, extra unit out of the box, and modelled it as 2 separate units. Although, looking at these now, I'm not 100% sure with these 6-pounders. They do look very small when they're on this base by themselves. I did paint these guns as well using my recipe for the Armour. Check out that video if you want to know more. So it's really simple one, just using Russian uniform, then with a thinned down brown wash, and then a couple of dry brushes to pick out the details. With this, I'm sure you're asking though, how does the whole box look arranged all together? Well, in that case, if you are, this is what that looks like. Here I've got everything that I've painted in the last 3 videos, so all of the armour, the infantry, commands, and support, and you can see that there is a fair amount of stuff here. For what you get, I suspect this is a really nicely balanced force, having 17 bases with each representing either a platoon for the infantry or a squad for the armour, that's a sizable force to play with on the gaming table. I suspect that if you bought just this, you really could have a good few interesting games at roughly around about 1500 points. For reference, I think it seems like the Blitzkreig Commander standard recommended size is about 2000, so good size force for while you're learning the rules, and you wouldn't need to expand this force immediately. Of course, when you're ready to expand your force, then you will probably be wanting something like this. Now, to be clear, this bag isn't actually all British. It's about 50% British and 50% Italians that I picked up back in December at Pendragon's Battleground Convention. And the plan here is basically everything that I already have, but more. So more infantry and support platoons, enough to about double what I currently have, plus some options for different heavier artillery and some M3 Stuart tanks. Like I've said before, I'm really just getting into the World War II wargaming, so I don't really know what is appropriate, and I just bought a little bit of everything that I think might be of interest. If anybody does have any suggestions how they would expand this starter force, whether that be from a game perspective or real life, let me know down in the comments below. Before we get to the glamour shots, I just wanted to say a big thank you for coming and checking out this video. This one's been a while in the making. Next in the series is going to be the Italian starter army, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to see when that arrives. But without much further ado, here is nice glamour shots of my finished British starter army. As an intro to World War II, I'm really happy with how these came out. They're a little monotone compared to the ancients and the medievals that I'm used to, but that's just the nature of 20th century armies. And because of that simplified colour scheme, they did paint up really quick. I obviously spread these out over a few months, but realistically, if you sat down and painted through these, I reckon that you could comfortably get them done within 2 or 3 weeks. For now though, thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Brett here at Tabletop Sagas, and I'll look forward to catching you next time.